Hi, welcome to A Punk with Toys. My name is Lawrence and welcome to Hotel Review number 2. And today we're going to be taking a look at the Operation Monster Force Delta Red Nightshade Unit. Now, this figure, as we can see, we've already had versions of these guys before, the Delta Reds. And also when you open it up, you can see that Van Helsing. His head is also on it. Also comes with his weapons. And I was actually gonna wait to the end to do any of the repaints or this guy, to do this guy, because we've already seen him. But then it kind of dawned on me as I was reading the comments and stuff that not everyone got these figures with season 1. So I figured let's get to this. So let's get into it. And here we got this wonderful photography of one of the Delta Reds right there. And as I had already shown you, we have Van Helsing's head right there. We have both of their, the part vampire guys. You got their helmets right there. You got your little comic panel right there. Again, Delta Red. And on the back, we got the cross-sell season 2 right there, and then you can see Van Helsing. But let's get into this. And again, if someone is wondering, hey, aren't you the guy that ragged on people about doing hotel reviews, and yet you did this guy, and you have a whole bunch of other stuff? Well, again, like I said, I'm not on vacation. I'm here in Ohio for work. So I figured, you know what? I finished up my training. I've gone to dinner. Let's pump out a review or two because I have a lot. And I got a lot of stuff I got to get done. But we're going to get into this guy right now. But before we do, if you like this type of stuff, you like when I drop the Operation Monster Force reviews, please take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop a Operation Monster Force review. Alright, so here he is out of his plastic prison, and I gotta say this one is like full on reuse. So quickly we'll take a look at, well, I guess everything is reuse, so there's no going over what's reuse. So we have Operation Monster Force here. It's got 2 pegs here. This is their stand. It is meant to look like a tombstone, which I think they do a pretty good job. Again, you know, my feelings on stands, don't really need them. It does tell you that it's Delta Red, and again, we have a bunch of Delta Reds to begin with. Alright. So, quickly, here's what he has. All of his hands that we're used to. Alright, and I guess they did add a couple hands. So we're going to have 2 grabby hands, which you can look at the detail. It looks like all the other hands. Alright, he's wearing a glove. He has some knuckle protectors right there. I don't know if they're knuckle dusters, but they're knuckle protectors. I know I've been calling them knuckle dusters, but whatever. But again, you can look at the nice design. You're not going to see fingernails because of that. Alright, so you get both of these. You're going to get 1 punchy. Oh, here we go. 2 punchy hands. Again, they look pretty good. You see that nice detail, the green outline on it. It really does just make it pop when you're doing photography. We're going to get the C-grip hands, which these are as C-grip as you can get. Alright, same detail as all the other ones. This is something we did not get till this wave, and this is the pointing finger, which I think is nice. This is a hand that a lot of people can use. And then we get a thumbs up. I guess that will work with some things, but I'm not really sure why you have a thumbs up per se. But it does look good. Again, I think thumbs up are more for like fun, but I guess you could do it. Hey, you're letting people know that, hey, everything's good. All right, blast effects. We've seen these before. We have this one. It's an orange translucent, a big plume coming out. These should go better with these weapons because these are kind of their weapons, but they don't fit that well. That's a very tight fit, and I can't really use it on that one because it has a bayonet. We'll take a look at that in a second. All right. Anyway, nice bloom. It does work on some of these weapons that we have. Let's see here. Here's Gung Ho's. So blast effects actually seem to be a little bit bigger. We have this one here. This is more like for the pistol. You can see the orange, the nice shot going through. The more I'm looking at these, the more I'm actually starting to like them, taking pictures with it. That one fits in good, so maybe it's just that. They've really been off with the size of them. And here's the middle size. Nice little plume right there. Again, orange translucent going through. And they do work for some pretty nice shots. Then we get the smoke effect as he's just been done firing. We can kind of grab his rifle, and this actually should work. And that fits in there pretty nicely. All right. We have his extra accessories. So quickly, we'll go over everything here. So he has a nice sheath. All right. You can see the nice gold right there. That little button, that little bit of paint really makes something pop. Now this is for the old system, or technically they still use the system. And here we have the knife, and we'll show how it sheaths in. All right, nice handle. This is pokey, so don't give it to a kid. You can see the blade. You can see the design right there. And again, this is meant to go right into there. It's going to be a tight fix, so be careful if you pop it in and it's sitting on one of the pegs here. I did a review, or I did something. It was a video, I don't remember what it was, and I went to pull this off, and it literally just broke it right off because it's so rigid. All right. Here we're going to get another pouch that we can use. All right, and you can see the detail in it. It's got some wrinkles in it, and then we have the radio. All right, and I know on his original one it has some sort of sheen to it. You can see the buttons right there. You can see the little antenna, and if you want, you can plug that right into it. If you have extra magazines, you can use it for magazines also. This here are his bolts for his crossbow. All right, so they're all painted individually. I do think they look really nice. There's not too much to it other than this black or very dark gray. And then the bolts all painted. It's going to plug into, I guess you can plug it onto the vest, but this is something more that would go with this piece. All right, if you're wondering what this is, this was the original system they were using. All right, so this is for the drop-down holsters, drop-down, not drop-down, but for the bolts here. They can be used for the knife. They can be used for these grenades, right? You look at it, it looks extremely nice. Nice and detailed. It's got a little bit of weathering. It's got the hole there. And then you look at the straps, and you can see the belt buckle right there. The strap buckles wrapping all the way around. Looks good. These things, if you want, will plug into here. But because of how they push out like that, they always fall off. And it all depends on what it is. They modified it, so the actual pistol holster now is all one piece. Don't have to worry about that happening, and I'm happy that they did that. All right, here we have some flashbang grenades, maybe the smoke grenades, I don't know. It's got the gold painting around it. I guess there's a little bit of paint rub there. There you get the pin for it. All right, so everything looks pretty nice on these. Again, you can put them anywhere you want. If you put these up top here, the one thing that it is going to do, it's going to impede them firing from the shoulder. This here we already saw. This originally came with him, so it is a yeah, the walkie-talkie, or whatever you want to call it, microphone, megaphone, not a megaphone. Anyway, it has little cord running up to it, so it's pretty much supposed to be just on here. It stays there. And you can see the design on it. It looks nice. It's good for him to hold. I know I have Law from Law and Order from G.I. Joe, him holding it, but his connects actually into his plate carrier. So you get this 3-piece one, and then we get this 2-piece of actual smoke grenades, painted gold. You can see the pin right there. So I think that looks nice. And again, these are meant to be modular. You can swap things around, do all kinds of stuff with it. Here's a couple of pouches, or shall I say one pouch right there with a little gold button. Looks decent. Again, this is going to stick out. There's no way that they could, I guess there's a way they could avoid it, but they didn't. All right, we get these shoulder pauldrons. These only came with the Delta Reds. I think they're all called Delta Reds. I don't have everything here, obviously. So, now the wash on it looks really nice. It's got gray. It's got the green. These aren't the worst. If you want to use them, you just slide them right up like this. But I do not really care for shoulder pauldrons. They just eventually get in the way. They continue to ride down, but I'm sure some people like them. Here we have a nice little cover for them. All right, just gonna pop right in. We have this right here, which looks like it's supposed to be maybe the Delta Red logo. Just in white, it's paint. Basically, if you want to take all this stuff off and you don't want to have holes, you can use these. It makes it look better. All right. Then he has this piece here. So if you want to take off this piece right here with the tourniquet on it, and you want to put this here with the all-in-one tool, and this one holds extra magazines. This one here holds a pistol. And looking at the design, you see these nice pouches on both sides. You got some shells right there, pouches there. You got your utility tool right there. And once this pops on, see these mushrooms, they plug right into there. This is meant for 2 different magazines. They should work with pretty much any magazine, but he doesn't come with extra ones. Yet I have other figures that have a whole bunch, so I don't think you need to worry too much about that. All right. He comes with 2 pistols. So he gets the larger pistol, which again, I think is coming with every single one of these figures for season 2 and a season 0. It's got the nice grip right there. You got your trigger guard, your trigger. You got what's supposed to be a slide action. Port for blast effects, which I've already shown you, trying to put some effects in. But you can see it has a safety on it. Again, nice looking weapon. And then we have the smaller pistol. All right, little grip, port for blast effect. Trigger guard. Looks decent. That usually stays in the holster no matter what. All right, then we get his crossbow. And if you remember my original review, many of you don't, most probably don't, this was broken. So I wasn't sure if this piece came apart, but it definitely isn't supposed to. It can still pop it back in. I never glued it or anything. I don't even use it. This one I'll have more of an urge to want to use because it's all one piece. So quickly looking at it, you get this nice stock right here. You can tell that it actually opens up. You got the trigger with the trigger guard and your grip. Here we can see those those bolts. Someone will yell. Of course, these ones are bent. And I don't know, maybe someone made a comment about it. But again, they're toys. But all the bolts are painted. Here we have the actual string that's holding it. It looks like it has 1 bolt in it there. You can see the wheels because it's on a pulley system. This thing is retracted back. And all in all, it definitely looks really nice. All right, and it'd be nice to actually have one that doesn't continue to fall apart. And then we get his gun, and this was specific to Van Helsing. And that's because it has the blade right there. I'm assuming this bayonet here is more like a spike. That is because he is a vampire hunter. He is Dracula is like his sworn enemy. So, looking at this here, you got a nice collapsible stock. It doesn't really work. You got a nice looking scope. You got the grip here, trigger guard. You have your AR platform. It's on a rail system. Unfortunately, you can't change anything out. You got your port for blast effects. And then you got your spike. Now, this would be awesome if this thing came off, but it does not. And as we look at the detail, you can see the safety switch right there. You can see the switch that changes the rounds from single shot 3-round burst to fully automatic. All right, and then we have this magazine. Now, the magazine doesn't look that great going into it, but that's not what you're supposed to look at. All right, and it looks like this was the one that has an opening. So, yep, you can see the bullets, and you know exactly how much you have left. He only comes with 1 magazine, and I'm not sure why they only gave him 1 magazine. They probably could have cut out some of these things. Like, this is the old system. I don't know how many people are using it. Probably not many of the people that had to deal with the season 1 figures, because it was very frustrating with them. All right, as for our head sculpts, we get this vampire-like figure. The lore basically says that, hey, these guys have been converted with some of Dracula's blood. They can take it for so long. And as long as they stop before a certain amount of time, they won't turn into a vampire. And sometimes you just drop things. And then like magic, you have it back in your hands. All right. So these guys have a nice mohawk or mohawk style. You can see the hair in it. You can see the changing of his head and the skin right there. He just had this green skin. His ears have started to change shape. White eyes, nice nose. You can see the eyebrows, see the nice teeth there, and you can see all the striations, all the wrinkles within his face. This is a helmet that they all came with, and I gotta say, I'm finding a way to use this helmet, even if I don't use it on Van Helsing here, or in this Delta Red figure. I like the gold. It kind of has that Predator vibes. All right, so you look into the eyes there. They are painted. They're painted black, I believe, right there. You have this gold look down the mask. It's gold on the top, and you can see all this detail on the back, all the way to the front, and this is really just pops. It's the same mask that we already have, but I gotta say I really do enjoy it. Now onto Van Helsing, or Delta Red, whatever you want to say. He's got Van Helsing's head on him. So this one here, he has the camouflaged face. Exact same face sculpt, from what I can tell. And unfortunately, I don't have the figure next to me, so I can't compare it to all of these weapons, or I would. So when you look at here, he's got that nice camouflage right down his face. His eyes look good, pointing straight. You can see his nice mouth that has a little bit of paint right there. Ears are good, perfectly sculpted hair, but you can see the detail in it. Here we have the same plate carrier. Now these are the same. You can either pop this off here and throw this one on, or we leave the one with the tourniquet on. So I still haven't figured out what these vials are. I'm assuming some sort of agent or cure or something. But when you look at this design here, you can see the padding. Here's where the nameplate goes. You have other figures, you could use their nameplate if you want to. They didn't do it here, or put on your own if you can paint that small. This here, these all plug in, so we can take them out. We can swap them with this right here if you want. You can also remove this, and there's two belt buckles there, and you can pop them in there if you want to do that. All right, it's your toy. You can do all kinds of stuff. Once you get down here, when we look at it, you know, there we have the TQ for tourniquet. It's got the scissors. I know they're not called scissors, but they're called something else. What looks like magazines. It looks like you have a light right there. And if you look here, this is a holster. That's where you can put that little pistol right there. All right. As you look at the arms, it's got that nice blue color. I really do like the blue color there. And his gauntlets that he have, I don't know if these are new or not. Again, I don't have any of the figures here. I don't fully remember these here. But I also don't play with the figures as much as I probably should there. All right, but just some detail right here, kind of mechanical, and then you have the same gloves that we already talked about. Same on this side. Get to the belt, you got 3 carabiners, all in gold. You got your little belt latch right there, shotgun shells running across there, bunch of pouches, and another connector here. And I'm assuming that's probably either realistic, or they just decided to go with it because a lot of the figures have that. All right. As for his legs, it looks like he's wearing some sort of jean. There's a lot of wash to it. And then we get to the holster here. Now this is the one that we talked about last season, season 1 actually. This here was just like this. But people kept hitting them, they kept falling off. And not this, but the piece that connected it, like into that. So you no longer have a pistol holder to go with that. Now that's something you should have with some of these figures. Is some of them just came with this pistol and nowhere to put it. All right, but this is all designed to be together, which again still looks really good. This is way better than before, and we can take this pistol and we can slide that bad boy right in there. We get the classic knee guard or knee pads. This is what they've been coming with that design. It almost looks like the helmet. I don't know if it's supposed to, but it sure looks like it. Then we get to the wrinkles in the pants, and then you have the boots and the shoelaces all running through there. As for this figure here, his articulation is, he can look up, and he can look up pretty good, and he can look down. He can look side to side for the most part. He has a T-pose right there, bicep swivel, and shoulder swivel. Double pin his elbows, and then his wrists are going to move like so. You can take this figure, and there are your butterfly grips. They don't work like they should. It's disappointing. Again, you can make their hands bend, but that's not what you're supposed to do. All right. As for the plate carrier, he has a diaphragm cut. He can only go over so far like that, and he can only go back that far. He can turn side to side, and this figure actually feels really good, to be honest. There's the Jean-Claude Van Damme. This does impede it a little bit. As it comes down, he has drop down hips. So it pops those right back into place. But yes, he can sit down in, let's say, an All-Striker or a Vamp or something like that. All right. Thigh swivel. Double pinless knees. Boot cut. And your ankle rockers. And if you're asking, why are you going over this? Everyone knows this. Not everyone does. All right. And I want to show you exactly what your figure is going to be like right out of the box. All right. As for his heads, you can throw this head on him. I already have more than a few of these heads, to be honest, because I actually bought a bunch of figures. There you go. I mean, it looks good, but this Van Helsing is actually really nice. There, you pop this off, and then we can put the Predator-style mask on. And, I mean, he really does give you some Predator vibes. But we want Van Helsing. He's who we're looking at right now. So we're going to grab his M4 platform. And if it's not, his AR platform. How about that? They have trigger fingers. I think I mentioned that. Alright. His bayonet is really a spike for vampires. So, here we go. This stuff here definitely gets in the way of posing like this. That is definitely not a good pose, so please don't judge me on that posing right there. I'm not a huge fan of the trigger fingers. I feel like something is wrong. And I will reiterate, this gun is not made by Gridiron. This is from Season 1. Yeah, Season 1. Let's bend this completely around. And the reason why I do this is to show you how easy or hard it is to get a figure into, let's say, a firing position. Alright. So, not the greatest. Something that we can definitely work on and make better. But this piece is going to be in the way. Just one of those issues. One of those things when it comes to any type of plate carrier. There you go. Can we get them in a running pose? Well, we've already done so many of these. I don't think anyone thinks this is going to be hard. Just have to adjust his weight a little bit. Right? Maybe. Maybe not. So yeah, I can get him running. Actually, that's a pretty good pose, to be 100% honest. Maybe I'll do a picture like that quickly. But anyway, that's your Van Helsing and everything that he comes with. Again, the crossbow is a nice touch to it. Again, he's a vampire hunter. His bayonet, which is a spike for vampires. Again, I think it all works. I think they do a really nice job. And I'm kind of glad I did this figure. I kind of have some fun with them while I'm here on this work trip. All right, so there you go. That is your Delta Red, aka The next Van Helsing, again, I think what they may have done was they gave him the color, the camouflage on his face, along with obviously all these vampire, along with the vampire heads and the mask, just so if people weren't able to get him, because he was the one that, if I remember correctly, has sold out the most, or sold the most of, and he's one of the main characters. And again, he can be used with your Joes, he can be used with your Valaverses, anything like that. But again, he's also the leader of the Operation Monster Force. For the most part, I guess Dracula and him kind of lead the armies together, but now we get a general and stuff. Anyway, very interesting story if you really care. But again, I'm here about toys, but reviewing these toys. And again, I have a lot of fun with this. I'm going to have a lot of fun messing around with them shortly. So anyway, I'm going to get out of here, but you stayed this long, so I'm going to say, please take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop an Operation Monster Force review. Now, don't go anywhere. You may have just found the channel and you're like, have you done any other ones? Well, you're in luck, because yes, I have. As a matter of fact, I've done them all, other than the ones that I haven't done yet. And right up here will be another review, and down here will be a playlist of everything that I've done, including all of Season 1. Take care.